Hello everyone, Ryan here. So for this week's Music Monday, decided to talk about DevilDriver. That's right, DevilDriver. And while I'm aware that they may not exactly be one of those bands that the mass populace actually likes listening to, but enough people do listen to them. I mean, they have a fairly big fan base. So, of course, they were first formed back in 2002, I believe, somewhere in California, Santa Barbara, California. And, of course, the singer, Des Fafara, or Fafara, he was also in another band before called Cold Chamber. Of course, I talked about Cold Chamber before in a previous Music Monday. And if you'd like to check that out, I'll provide that link. So sometime when Cold Chamber, they were on a long hiatus, and so the singer, that's when he formed DevilDriver. And I will say, if you're a fan of thrash metal, you'll definitely like this band. Also, if you're a fan of other bands like Lamb of God, Trivium, Machine Head, Killswitch Engage, if you're a fan of those bands too, or even if you just somewhat like those other bands, you'll like DevilDriver too. Now I remember when their first album came out, which is self-titled, I believe. Actually, I just started recently getting back into listening to DevilDriver on a regular basis. I found that their music is, well, for me, it's I consider it to be like one of the best types of music, or I should say their songs, I guess. Their songs, for me, I found really kind of like pump me up when I'm like out, when I'm jogging around the neighborhood or just walking. And because they're really full of energy. Most of their songs are so full of energy. And it's thrash metal, but then also some of their songs also have elements of like just really groove-based kind of stuff. Like there's some songs where they'll just like play a guitar riff over and over, but then change it up so that it doesn't become too redundant, I guess. And well, I guess also too, they also have elements of being like a prog rock band, like progressive, which I like. I've always liked that kind of thing. I guess you could say that they do kind of have some small trace elements of like other bands like Dream Theater, and but I mean, I wouldn't say that they're just, I wouldn't consider them to be just a straight up progressive kind of band, but it's just that they have some elements of that in their songs. So and I mean, actually, this is one of the bands that I wish I'd been paying more attention to, because I want to say, I believe they've released 4 or 5 or 6 albums so far. And I know that they have a new album coming out this year, sometime in July, I believe. Or it might be like some kind of cover album where they do like kind of like metal versions of country songs or something like that. I don't know. I briefly read about that, so But you know, as far as the music is concerned, I mean, I may not know much about each band member other than the singer, him being in Cold Chamber and all that. But I will say the guitar riffs are awesome. Their guitar riffs are, I mean, every time I listen to their songs, you know, it makes me almost a little bit jealous. Because me being a musician, a guitar player myself, and you know, I always love just coming up with like really catchy guitar riffs, and this is one of those bands that they definitely have. They have a crap load of catchy guitar riffs. I mean, you know, it's pretty much every single one of their songs. I don't even think I think I've yet to listen to. I haven't come across any song of theirs where, you know, where they don't have just extremely catchy guitar riffs. And not only that, but the guitar tone is very heavy and distorted, but not too distorted, and just just right. Like, I don't know how else to explain it, you know. And the drummer is awesome. The drummer is sick. The drummer is phenomenal. The bass player too. I like that. You know, they actually have a lot of songs that not only does it, you know, in other words, this is one of those bands where they not only highlight the guitar players and the drums, but also the bassist. Like, they have actual songs where there'll be like kind of like these parts before some kind of breakdown, and then it's just the bass player just playing along, grooving along to the drums, and you know, it's just he's got a really good bass tone, definitely, especially for being in a metal band. I believe having like a really awesome bass tone is something that's kind of hard to come by in a metal band. Not only that, but just, you know, to be able to have a bass tone that stands out a lot. And it's, yeah, I mean, obviously I'm aware that, you know, if you're not a musician yourself, you know, or just a big music fan, it's likely that, you know, you've never really bothered paying attention to what the bass player does in most bands. And I don't know, I'm just saying, like, based on my own experience, like, you know, sometimes, like, if I'm listening to a particular song, like if I'm around friends or relatives, and you know, I can notice an awesome bass line right away, and if I try to point it out to them, sometimes they'll understand what I'm talking about, sometimes they won't, but more often than not, they don't understand what I'm talking about. So, I mean, hey, as you know, it comes with the territory, I guess. As far as like their songs go, you know, I mean, I feel like they're definitely one of those bands that you have to, in order to fully appreciate them, you have to listen to an entire album of their songs. I mean, I remember like just their first album, just their debut album, that really got my attention, and then the second album again got my attention, like really held my attention. The third album, you know, I believe by the third album, that's when they started having like the guitar players, they started playing like a lot more intense shredding guitar solos. And so I mean, you know, not only do they have catchy riffs and awesome drumming, awesome bass lines, and an awesome singer, but then also awesome shredding guitar solos. I mean, you know, what more can a metal fan want? A metalhead want? You know, that's all that I expect from a metal band. You know, I mean, most of the time. Yeah. yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about them. I believe it's better to just listen to their music. I will, of course, provide links to some of their stuff. Also, possibly some of their music videos and live performances. So, yeah. It's just, they're one of those bands that, I feel that they're pretty underrated. Yeah, just because, I've yet to hear any of their songs played on any mainstream radio network or show, or I don't know, whatever they're calling that stuff now. Yeah, I mean, even on satellite radio, where I've been listening to a lot of different metal stuff. DevilDriver really, they're not really played that much. So, I mean, I don't know, that's what I feel. So yeah, that pretty much do it for this Music Monday. Again, definitely check out DevilDriver if you haven't. So, yeah, you won't be disappointed unless you're not a fan of heavy metal, thrash metal. So, yeah. So thanks for watching this. Thanks for listening. As always, see you next time. Don't forget, keep it real, keep on rocking, and peace.